Before we close, right, and these are all great stories, and I really appreciate that, and I think there's a lot of value to share with the organization that are going to watch these things. I just see that, and we'll get some feedback, obviously, when this is done, but after all is said and done, you've got all these stories, your career and everything else, what's the number one piece of advice that you would recommend everybody that's watching this show? What action would you expect them to take, or should you recommend they take?
Great question. And as I said at the beginning, this is about giving back. It's about helping businesses. First thing, review these areas and see if they resonate with you. But the first thing you do is call someone and get a strategic business review of your business. We'll come in, we'll look, have you got a plan? Do you have the right people? We'll look at every single thing in the business and who would not or who should not invest 30 minutes on improving their business. And so my advice, pick up the phone, call it
and get started.
And get started.
You don't necessarily know the answer or the long run, right? But if you make the 30-minute investment, and again, if you do it with Focal Point, we've got a system and a process to do that kind of thing, but you could do it with somebody else if that was the case. But,
right.
But the reality is that you're having a third set of eyes investigate your stuff, and ideally they're very qualified for doing this kind of thing and give you that information, because we just can't know it all ourselves.
That's right. And the last time you and I talked, we talked about what does a Focal Point coach do and what value do they add. The reason I came back and told these stories is maybe that'll stimulate something in a business owner saying, yes, I do need to pay more attention to that. So strategic plan, do I have the right people? Am I treating my brand properly?
Well, these are the key entrepreneurs. These are the leadership type stuff that people, this is the high value stuff that leaders need to spend their time on.
Absolutely.
Often we find them in the weeds, right? And they're down in the delivery and the this and everything else, but that's worth a low dollar amount compared to this kind of stuff, which
Absolutely.
really leverages their brand across the entire organization, all of their people, their behavior, their culture, everything else. This is the big stuff.
Well, and if you look right now, Coca-Cola, the script Coca-Cola, the harmonic wave, and the shape of the bottle is sitting on Coca-Cola's balance sheet for $84 billion. Not tangible assets, images. Those three things are $84 billion worth of asset. So that's a brand.
That's staggering.
And Apple just actually went ahead of them. The Apple logo is worth over $90 billion. So treat your brand right, and as we've been talking about before.
Yeah, build the brand.
Because
make it right.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, John.
Join us next week for another episode of BusinessWhitt's Better Business Results.